50 years?
Yeah.
600 months.
600 months
For
for PR, permanent resident.
50 years?
Yeah.
We told Pierre Poilievre how long applicants for permanent residence under humanitarian and compassionate considerations may have to wait.
Just imagine, it's a real case. You log into IRCC website, enter your details, and the tracker said you gotta wait for 50 years.
50 years?
Yeah.
600 months.
600 months
For
for PR, permanent resident.
50 years?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many 50 years we have,
Years.
right? So that's not a joke. It sounds like a bad joke, but it's not. But it's not.
Go.
So, Mr. Poilievre and Chak, thank you so much for the time, and welcome to the beautiful British Columbia.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, right. Did you watch the game yesterday?
We did, yes.
Yeah,
How are
what-
you? Did you watch it?
It's on TV.
Yeah, right. Right. It's phenomenal on the street right here.
Yeah, it was an incredible win.
Yeah, right.
6-0.
It is. It is.
Incredible blowout. So hopefully it's an indication of what's to come.
It is, and it sounds more like Canada is like a team of soccer. We got 10 provinces,
Yep.
3 territories, and
That's
actually
right.
we're literally Team Canada.
Yes.
So now we got 2 players, 1 strikers, British Columbia, and 1 midfield, Alberta, having some friction in it. So last week in your speech, you said we don't need a different country in Alberta. We need different government policies in Ottawa.
That's right.
So, with you as a coach of Team Canada, you said enough to Alberta, we feel. What are you going to say to a striker in the changing room?
Well, first of all, I would say I don't think the disagreement is between Alberta and British Columbia. I think the disagreement is by politicians who are offside with all Canadians. So, for example, offside, I should be careful. That's a hockey reference. So I'm getting.
Dude, there is an offside in soccer too.
Well, I guess so. I got to be careful with mixed metaphors, but I always think of hockey for that. But listen, British Columbians favor pipelines. There's this nonsense view that British Columbians don't want pipelines. It's not true.
Right.
The polling data, and I don't normally read the polls, but I'll tell you, overwhelmingly, for the last 15 years, when the pipeline debates have happened, the majority of British Columbians favor pipelines, oil and gas. And so there is no disagreement between Alberta and British Columbia. Now, there are Liberal and NDP politicians who oppose pipelines, but they do not reflect the views of British Columbians. So what we need to do is unblock our resources and approve a right-of-way for a pipeline from Alberta through to the Pacific, with the goal of moving 1 million barrels of oil every single day. To be clear, over 35 years, that would be $1 trillion of oil that would go to the Pacific. $1 trillion is a phenomenal amount of wealth that would benefit all of Canada, but in particular the West. And the economies of British Columbia and Alberta are totally intertwined. When Alberta's booming, Kelowna and Fernie and Kamloops and all kinds of other interior communities boom. And that money circulates right in when mining in Alberta booms, well, the mining finance sector here in Vancouver booms. So the prosperity of the 2 provinces is intertwined, and that's why we need to, in using your soccer analogy, work as a team and put the ball in the net.
Right, of course. Of course, we play soccer in a soccer field, and that's someone's land, right? So on property right, so of course you just mentioned about defending property rights, and Chak has got a motion being voted down in the parliament. But anyway, how would you strike a balance between respecting the Aboriginal history and the reconciliation, and defending the legal certainty of private property rights? Because I guess in Chinese you have yin yang, both sides need to balance. So how would you strike a balance between them?
Look, I don't know if I would put it that way, because just at the end of the day, property rights are property rights, and you don't half own your home. you either own it or you don't. And if you bought a house in Richmond and your name is on the title and deed, and you've been paying the property tax and mortgage, it's your house.
Right.
And it shouldn't be a fuzzy balancing act. It should be very straightforward that no one can take it away from you,
Right.
unless you decide to sell it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's very simple. We should have the principle of extinguishment, that home ownership and other private title comes before all others, and there should be no need to counter that. At the same time, do we want our Indigenous population to be thriving and prosperous? Of course we do. And the way that we do that is by opening up opportunity, unlocking our resources, harvesting lumber in partnership with First Nations to build more homes and create more jobs for loggers and millwrights. We should allow First Nations to get out from under all of the bureaucracy in Ottawa that is just completely drowning them and preventing their prosperity. That's how we're going to allow for Canadians, both Indigenous and non, to thrive in our country.
Right, right. And of course, in the national soccer team of Canada, so
Yes.
far there's...
You really like this
I
analogy,
really like
can
soccer.
see.
Come on,
Yeah.
forgive me. I gotta use this metaphor. But
Yes.
so there obviously is no Chinese or Hong Kong player yet. But for your
Are you a
personal...
good soccer player, Chak Au?
Yes, I
Yeah,
used
right.
to be.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Oh, okay. Here you go. But do you have any personal impression or experience about Hong Kong immigrants or Hong Kong Canadians? What's your impression of Hong Kong people?
Well, I'm very, very impressed with Hong Kong. First of all, I have to say the prosperity that Hong Kongers built on the island itself from the post-war period until quite recently is a spectacular human achievement. I visited Hong Kong, and for the longest time it was rated as the freest economy in the world. So, it's incredible that at various times Hong Kong has had a higher per capita GDP than Canada, even though the population density is something like 4,000 times greater than Canada. It's this tiny island with all these people on it. They managed to house people, create an amazing amount of wealth. It became really a trade post that through the openness of the economy and the relentless hard work of the people, became one of the great capitals of the global economy. For various reasons, people left, though, to come here. And the Hong Kong population that came to mostly the lower mainland of British Columbia has massively enriched our economy. We brought investors, small business people, restaurant owners, and they're the kind of people who will work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, who will sleep at their business if they have to pay the bill and make payroll and follow the law. Like most of them would never even have a parking ticket. So they are the model of what we need to bring to this country and allow to thrive. I wonder, though, if today, if the handover, British handover were happening today, and Hong Kongers were looking for a place to go, would they come to Canada to pay 53% tax and to pay $1.2 million for a home and to pay high energy costs and live in a recession? I'm not sure we are right now creating the most attractive economy in the world. The promise that brought people here from Hong Kong all those years ago is right now unfortunately broken by our government, and we need to reinstate it so that the hardest working, the smartest, the best people in the world will again see Canada as the beacon of opportunity that people from Hong Kong did years ago.
That's wonderful. So much you have with Hong Kong people. You've been to Hong Kong, and as you said, Hong Kong people came here for a promise. And in fact, there are 300,000 Hong Kongers with dual citizenship with Canada also.
Right.
And then, by the way, because of the promise by Hong Kong Pathway 5 years ago, introduced by IRCC, another 46,000 applicants have come over. and regrettably, only 30% of them have been processed with a PR application.
Yeah.
70% of them are still hanging over in a black hole. So, these guys, they brought their kids, brought their professions, and just like me, I came here 7 years ago. Now I'm a citizen by express entry, but not by Hong Kong pathway.
Right.
And these guys, they have all the professions. They are working here, working hard, as you said, based on the promise for fast track to PR. They want to have a safe place. They want to enjoy the weather here too, right? So, but these guys, they are now in a black hole. So just imagine, it's a real case. You log into IRCC website, enter your details, and the tracker said you gotta wait for 50 years.
50 years?
Yeah,
600 months.
600 months
For
for PR, permanent resident.
50 years?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many 50 years we have,
Years.
right? So that's not a joke. It sounds like a bad joke, but it's not.
Go.
So there is a suggestion coming up, proposal from some Hong Kong people, that is, can we have like a one-off 3-year plan to clear up all these backlogs by step over the rest of 2026, 2027, 2028. You know, you got a definite deadline, definite timetable, feasible, working plan, it's all good, but it's step by step instead of nothing, like 600 months, right? So would there be something that you could stand up with Hong Kong immigrants and, you know, maybe suggest to RCC?
Well, I think we do need to cut back on the bureaucracy. Look, I do believe our immigration should be controlled. We should select people that are best for Canada's interest. But when people are clearly law-abiding, tax-paying, they're coming here, they're paying $70,000, $80,000 a year in tax. They're employed, they're bringing investment dollars, and they're following all the rules. They shouldn't have to wait 50 years for their applications to be processed. And so right now I'm working with Vincent Ho and with Chak Au to discuss how we can solve this problem. You know, we have this incredible population that want to contribute more, that might lay down, billions of dollars of investment in our country if they had the certainty of their future here. So I'd also like to get Chak Au's view on the best way to solve this. What do you think?
Well, I think that represents a failure in the Liberals' policy. They make a promise, they create a program, but at the end, they were not able to deliver it. And I see that to be not just a policy failure, but also administratively, they did a very bad job, right? So I think they don't have a thorough plan about, how should they deal with it. And one sector of the policy might contradict with another sector of the policy. I think this is what happens right now. And also they change the policy, just like this. I can give you an example that, in early June, my office told me that they were trying to make inquiries on behalf of those applicants, right? And then they're being told, no, you are not allowed to ask those questions again. And then, of course, I think this is unfair. You created policy, and we should be able to ask questions or make inquiries on behalf of our constituents. And so I wrote a letter to the minister saying that, is this true that you should stop us as MPs the opportunity to advocate on behalf of our constituents? And they haven't given me a firm answer yet, but the good news is they told my office a few days ago that pilot was terminated.
So they back off.
Yeah, so they back off. So I think that's why I think as MPs, we should work very hard for the people, advocate for the people, and we can achieve results.
Yeah, I'm sure many Hong Kong immigrants are grateful to hear that. So that's wonderful news, Chak.
Well, listen, we're very optimistic about the future, as much as now is a very difficult time in Canada with the rising cost of living and the Liberal recession, with the crime and the drugs. We know that it's easy to feel down, but we're also very hopeful about the future. And we want to restore the promise that brought so many people from Hong Kong, from Ireland, where my grandfather came from around the world, for opportunity. We want this to be a place bursting with opportunity. for home ownership, for launching new businesses, for earning a great life, starting a family. We want to make this the best place in the world to do it. And it's great to work with Chak Au and Vincent and numerous other great Conservative MPs to make it happen.
So one last word,
Sure.
Mr. Poilievre. So what would you say to the camera, to Hong Kong immigrants now working hard, waiting for the black hole in Canada?
Well, there's a light at the end of that black hole. So keep your hope, keep the fight alive. There's a bright future here in Canada, and I look forward to you being a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Great to be with you, my friend.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Mr.
Devin.
Poilievre.
Absolutely, Devin. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre. Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Chak Au.
Yeah. See you.
Okay.
OK 啊，
時間啱啱好，
係啊
我自己一落去揾，我 feel 到差唔多啦，我 feel 到啦，其實我已經因為我已經係啊。
好啦，多謝你。我睇下，我今晚我哋 live 咧會講，即係你IRCC 點答你咯，即係係啊，我哋會講係啊。